Welcome back to We're Talking Bears, where uncle, nephew, and son, cuz, bring you the latest in the Chicago Bears experience. I'm nephew,
I'm son, and we're
and Unc
talking
isn't with us today, but we're still talking Bears.
every week.
Coming off of a Week 10 disaster, 3 losses in a row. Was it 3 losses in a row? Is it 4? Was it 3? I know we
Um,
lost the last 3.
we beat Jacksonville in London. Then we had to bye. Then we came back and we lost
3
to
games. The Cardinals,
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
Commanders,
Commanders,
and the
Patriots.
Patriots. Yeah,
Damn, three
we
on the
suck right now.
this is the easiest part of our schedule, and I can't even keep track of how much we losing, bro. Like,
Hey, it's disgusting,
all right,
man.
we
It's
have the
disgusting.
hardest schedule of all teams for the rest of the year. The most
You,
difficult schedule going forward.
I'll say this, and this is just my observation, right? I said previously that I would have wanted to win all 3 of these games, and I felt all 3 of these last games that we've dropped were winnable games. Watching the teams that we played against, I still stand by the fact that those were winnable games, in my opinion, right? But what bothers me is this: if we were to have won those 3 games, or even 2 of the 3, I would have a completely different opinion and expectation on this season moving forward, even when it comes to the tough part of our schedule and looking at our division, because some of our division rivals have struggled against teams that we've beaten or struggled against teams that we've been very, very competitive against. So, for example, we killed the was it the Jaguars, and I believe they another, who was it they just played? Was it the Lions or was it the Vikings? Who
Vikings.
Whoever these guys have been playing in our division, they didn't beat them as bad as we did. So for some of the things that I'm seeing, I would consider that maybe we will be competitive against our division, and maybe we have an opportunity to come out of our division on top. But these last 3 games specifically make me feel like not only are we not going to win, but that the culture of what's going on in the Bears locker room and internally with our team is a regression, and instead of a progression. Now we've gotten rid of Waldron. We don't no more Waldron, and I just don't know if this is another scapegoat move or if this is actually what's been plaguing our team. We can look and say play calling hasn't been good. We've agreed on that. We've spoken on that when we're talking Bears on different instances. But I don't know, because it looks like to me ownership, the GM, and what the front office is doing is scapegoating people and throwing certain people under the bus so that they can remain in their jobs. And so I'm just not sure anymore if any of these moves that they're actually making are for our benefit or for our detriment. What you think?
Because I think you said it 100% and nailed it. Like, at the end of the day, right now, Eberflus is a lame duck head coach. Period. There's no way he comes back next year. Even if he is somewhat competitive, we are in the toughest division in football, right? So it's going to be, man, just absolute murder, a gauntlet to the end of the season for us, right? Even if we win 50% of those games, we're not making the playoffs. Unless Caleb somehow has a renaissance under what's the name, Thomas Brown or whatever, who was our passing game coordinator, now is our OC after Shane Waldron's firing. Unless Caleb looks like freaking year 2 Peyton Manning when we come out here, which I highly doubt that's going to be what changes everything. I mean, I don't really see Eberflus saving his job here, and this is the same cycle we go through with all of these coaches. By mid-season, after their 3rd year, after they draft a new quarterback trying to save their jobs, mid-season, you know that the team tells you that these dudes are not good enough. These dudes are not what's up. We keep hiring these guys based off of, I don't know, God, what kind of criteria like the Bears brass is presenting. Like, I don't even know what their selection process was last time. Let me remind y'all, there was a roundtable like panel that they brought in of like McCaskey, some other Bears executives. They brought in Bill Polian from the Colts, like a rival team's like legendary executive. Like, why do you think you're going to be getting like the golden pill from him? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even bringing people who are invested in the Bears, who are invested in the Bears' success. Like, it's craziness. And then you come up and you get a Colts guy who turns out to be a dud. Like, I don't understand what the logic was when we went into that process. And I didn't like the Flus hiring from the jump. And then you see the results of that years and years and years down the line. You know, we've now gotten rid of our young, talented quarterback, and we've got a young, allegedly talented quarterback that we haven't even seen the flashes that we saw from Justin rookie year. You know, when he torched the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think it was week 8 or 9, and nearly won the game. Really, the refs had to cheat to give Ben Roethlisberger the win, so that we wouldn't lose that game. With that phantom taunting call, which, oh my God, I'll never forget that. To give them that field goal that they won the game with. Then there was the 49ers game where Justin basically called game when he did that crazy run where he reversed field and went all the way for 6. There were so many good moments Justin's rookie year. He torched the Lions twice, I want to say. That, you know, even though there was bad, you could see like, okay, well, here's the good, here's the bad. Caleb had 2 good games against the 2 worst defenses in the league, in Jacksonville and oh man, who was the other one? I think it was the Colts. Okay, the Colts aren't the worst defense in the league, but they're up there. So I mean, he had 2 good games, and it's been terrible otherwise. Like, not like redeemably bad, terrible. And like, yeah, you expect rookies to struggle, but this is well above like what you would expect with the level of talent he has around him right now. So at the end of the day, man, I really think that it's more just, you know, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. That's what the Bears do best.
I agree, man, and it's sad to see it. And yeah, you're right, man. When you talk about this round table of guys they bring in, because maybe it's just me, I'm out of touch. I watch the football games. I don't really do much looking into who's behind the scenes until it comes down to like bad play calling, or you get what I'm saying, the things that the coaches actually are supposed to be affecting on the team. But to find out that guys like Poles and Flus and Waldron all have the same agent, I'm just thinking like, man, these things are conflicts of interest, and I wasn't aware of that. But to hear that makes me feel like this round table panel, whatever it is, when you're coming up with these decisions, sounds like you're just friends with the agent, and they say, oh, I got a guy for you. Oh, you need one of those? I got one of those for you too. You need a GM? I have that too. What do you need? I have guys. And you're just going to get all your guys from me because you don't actually know how to go out and vet the people that you really need on your team to help your team be better. And it just seems like they're hiring their friends, and they have no real process for what they're doing. And when you talk about bringing a guy in from the Colts who's a rival, it's like, yeah, you can bring me in if you're going to pay me. You can bring me in, pay me, and I'll tell you what I think. And if it works out, I really don't care. I'm just here to collect the money. I'm here to collect the check. And that looks like all these guys are doing on our side, man. And what's unfortunate is these young, talented athletes that we have on our side are obviously becoming disgruntled with what they're putting out there on the field. They're becoming upset with the people making these executive decisions that are negatively impacting their careers. Yeah. If I'm DJ Moore, I'm pissed, because whether the fans thought Justin was holding the ball too long, whether the coaches tried to scapegoat him as being the reason we weren't a little bit better, even though we all saw the offensive line not holding up, when they try to do those things,
all of that,
whatever it is, I know that if the new guy you brought in can't get me the ball so that I can produce the stats that I need to produce to be able to command the money that I want to command, or be able to produce the stats in a way that I know I can produce them, I'm going to have a problem with it. And you're intentionally selecting these people who are adversely affecting my football career. I'm not going to be happy. And I don't know what it's going to take for them to start making better decisions, but it's just getting out of control, man. We lost to a team that was 2-7. If it was any game that I was certain about in these 3 games leading into division games, it was this one. It was the one against the Patriots. We haven't scored a touchdown in what, 18 quarters? What is it right now?
It's a lot more now. I think it's 22 quarters now, because I think it was 18 when we went into that game.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's terrible. Like, point is, like, we continue to make decisions that are detrimental to this franchise. We continue to cut off our nose to spite our face, and you can't win like that. You can't even progress like that. Okay, until these owners, until the people that are all the way at the top, we're looking dead at you, McCaskey. We're looking at everybody who's in that decision-making process. Until y'all realize how shitty you are at your job, until y'all understand how terrible you are at your job, this franchise will continue to suck. This is the product that you are capable of delivering. So step your egotistical behinds out of the way and let somebody who actually knows what they're looking at make these decisions for you. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And the more that they continue to stick their nose in it, the more that they continue to make their voices heard, I mean, the less valuable this franchise will become. Like, they want the city of Chicago to give them how much money to build a new stadium on the lake? What you mean, $1 billion? Show us that you're worth $1 million first.
Right.
Show us that you're worth the price of admission to one of these games where we lose at home 3-13 to a 2-7 Patriots team with a quarterback that was picked after our quarterback.
Right.
You could have picked the guy that beat you. We didn't even bring the other quarterbacks in to freaking evaluate them. Polls just locked in. And this is why I'm out on polls. Anyone who's that, like, your message when you were deciding whether to get rid of Justin, who the team, the players, every leader on the roster said, that's our guy. Do not get rid of Justin Fields. That's our guy. We going to war for him. They went to war with you for him. And I guess that was just something that his ego just couldn't take. Like, oh, Justin's more important than me type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, no, this is my franchise. I'm putting my stamp on it. This isn't Justin's team. I guess that was how he felt. I guess that was the attitude he had. But the fact of the matter is, he went on and moved ahead. The whole city, man, at the end of the Falcons game, chanting, we want Justin, as everybody walked off the field after Justin cooked a top 10 defense. Look at the Falcons now in the lead in the NFC South as the best team in their division. We cooked them at the end of last year. We wouldn't stand a chance. They would dog walk us right now. If they walked into Soldier Field tomorrow, they'd dog walk us. So the more that you continue to put your own ego, Ryan Poles, McCaskey, the more that you continue to put your own ego in front of the needs of this team, the more you're going to lose it. And the more Matt Eberflus continues to put his own ego in front of the needs of this team, firing Shane Waldron instead of just stepping down. Dog, we've had 4 seasons of trash football behind your head. And your new haircut does not absolve you of any of the other 3 seasons of garbage, no more than getting rid of Justin was the reason that there was garbage in the first place.
All right.
And everybody tries to, like, the Bears are the absolute slimiest, scapegoatiest. Like, remember when they fired Lovie Smith when he was 10-6?
Yes.
We ain't had a really good head coach since. We ain't had a good head coach since then. Not one. We don't even know what it looked like anymore. I don't even remember why we fired him. I think it was just like, oh, they couldn't get the offense together. Okay, but he took you to a Super Bowl, just a couple years before, and continuously won division titles, continuously beat guys like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre with nobody on his side of the ball that was that talented. With the ghost of Brian Urlacher by the end of it, continuing to win those divisions. Like, but the guys up top, and it's the same thing we ran into with Jerry Krause and the Bulls. The guys up top, they think that they're so smart that they're pulling all these strings. No, man. All right. The smartest person at the top knows only one skill: who to surround myself with. That's how you find the smartest person at the top, because they put the best people around themselves. Because you can't do none of this alone. Nobody is the mastermind. That's the point. Nobody is the mastermind. It's a team effort. In the front office, it's a team effort. In the freaking coach's room, it's a team effort. In the film room, it's a team effort. The people who are recording the videos and distributing to the players, it's a team effort. On the field, it's a team effort. In the locker room, it's a team effort. The people who gather up all the dirty jock straps and wash them and make sure that the jerseys are ready, it's a team effort. And when they figure out that all they are is just another cog in the wheel of the team, then we'll be good. And until they figure that out, we'll suck. That's the way it is. So more Eberflus, more losses, But him and Posey are gonna be gone at the end of the year. You can mark my words, man. They'll be gone at the end of the year.
And you know what? I hope so. And like I said, I can like some of the things that Poles has done, but in my opinion, if you don't have the wherewithal to speak up and call a spade and to recognize where you fall short and to call people like Eberflus out or like Waldron out, and you got to be able to do it. That's what it means to be in that position of leadership. You got to be able to say this isn't working and we need something else. You can't just sit back and try to scapegoat these players because that isn't it. And you can look around and see based on the body language of the players that isn't it. And you're not getting anywhere with this. Like I said, we're regressing right now. And it's so unfortunate because I don't even feel like I can talk football anymore on We're Talking Bears. Like I don't really have much to say about the actual play of the team because I feel like we're well beyond that right now. Our issues have nothing to do with the players on the field. Yeah. In my opinion, it has everything to do about the culture.
We got a talented roster. No questions asked.
And our issues are not about the talent on the roster. Now, granted, I still believe that we can upgrade some pieces. I still believe that there's some things that we need to do. But my issue and the issue that we have with losing to a 2-7 team is not about the talent that we have. It's not. It's about the culture that these guys are creating. And it's just what you said. Until you're able to realize that you're just a cog in the wheel, then we're not going to go anywhere. We're not. We're not. And I knew it was going downhill when Stevenson made that boneheaded play and was celebrating before the game was over. And the head coach, who's been a bum for the last few seasons, decided to come out there and blame that game on him as if that wasn't one play, as if we didn't keep them out of the end zone the entire game on defense. What about the play calling? What about the times where it takes for a leader to step up and say, that was my fault? I didn't make the right call in this instance.
Yeah. And whenever you're in that mode, it's already over. Like if you can't step up, and this is something that, and we're just gonna go back to Justin just a little tiny bit because it's relevant, and you talk about the things that this team is missing, the things this team no longer has now that he's gone. Accountability is one of those things, because whenever somebody will show up on that podium and ask, okay, why did this go wrong? Why did that go wrong? You not one time go back and look through years of videos, years of post-game interviews, of training camp, sound bites, whatever. Go find it. Justin never once blamed somebody other than himself. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Only one time they asked him what could be a reason. What is a reason that you could be overthinking things on the field? He said, maybe coaching. That's the only time I ever heard him ever say something that was like, it's on me. I got to be better. It's time for me to improve. I'm going to just get back to work and get back in the lab. That was the only thing Justin would ever respond. He had that accountability unto himself. And the coach was just like, yeah, it's him. If you're a leader, if you're the leader of this team, then your sense is, yeah, it's great that Justin is that guy and it's great that he's that humble, but we didn't put him in position to succeed. That's a failing on the coaches. That's what a leader would have said after Justin came off of that podium. Absolutely. And Eberflus not once said that. Luke Getsy, not once did he ever say that. People never come out and say that. And then you wonder why there's no accountability on the team today. Why Mercedes Lewis has to be the one to start the hard discussions about, like, okay, why are we not practicing this? Why don't we have a script for the first 15 plays of the game? Why aren't we practicing hard? Why are you got Kevin Byard, DJ Moore, who else? Keenan Allen, all of these veteran leaders out here like, hey, something is dysfunctional in this coaching. Something is dysfunctional in this locker room. Y'all think this is supposed to be easy. Y'all not working as hard as the teams that I used to play on when we used to suck. DJ Moore has seen he's 6-7 years in the league now. He's had a different quarterback in every last one of those years. I think he knows what a bad NFL quarterback looks like. He's seen enough of them. He knows what it looks like. And if he's giving up on Caleb, that's indicting. That's a terrible sign.
I agree.
If we just spent the first overall pick on Kyle Allen, then dude, I don't know what to tell you. Man.
Yeah, man, it's all bad, man. This is a depressing time. And what's unfortunate is we keep seeing this over and over again. And like you said, a leader, regardless of if there are other, of course, like you said, it's a team effort. So everybody has to step up. Everybody has to do better where they're not doing well. Everybody has to be committed to saying, okay, if this isn't working, what else can I do to help us get there? That's what leadership is all about. And you're right, Justin had that. And I don't mind harping on Justin and staying on the Justin Fields bandwagon, because we said this last year. And there was a lot of pushback, a lot of people who disagreed, a lot of people who were like, no, we got to get rid of him and get Caleb in here. Well, my question is to them, where's the success that you accepted, that you expected? It's just excuses. There's nothing but excuses, because at the end of the day, Justin Fields was that person. He was going to be accountable. He was going to say, okay, if this isn't working, then I need to step my game up. Even if it is other people who also need to step their game up, I don't need to be the one to tell the world that. I can say, hey, I'm going to be better. And that's what it takes, man. And unfortunately, we don't have that in Chicago. And if we only had it in one player last year, we don't have it anymore. We don't have it anymore. And I would much rather have Justin Fields on this team right now, not because I don't think Caleb can be a good player, but because our issue is not about that. And when you're playing a team game, you got to have guys out there that the team wants to play with and wants to play for. You can't be that boneheaded and arrogant to think that you as a coach know more than the guys that are playing with each other about the guys they're playing with.
Mm-hmm. And I think this year, and to go right along with that, I think this year is really showing like how foolish that strategy and that thought pattern is, that, oh, you're a quarterback away. Oh, a quarterback makes a difference, yada, yada, such and such. Look at Patrick Mahomes right now. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are 9-0. They have not lost a game. And the refs have helped. Let's be honest. The refs have helped them out. But the refs have helped every team a little bit. When at the beginning of this year, I was like, damn, I can't believe we're getting this many calls. I was surprised how much the refs were helping us along early on. So the refs have helped every team a bit. That's just how football works, right? But the Chiefs are 9-0. Can you tell me how Patrick Mahomes has played this season? Can you tell me? All
right. He's been okay.
Patrick Mahomes. Let me give you some perspective on that. Patrick Mahomes has had easily the worst season of his career. And yeah, his players have been largely hurt and whatever. But right now, Patrick Mahomes has just 12 touchdowns in 9 games, 9 interceptions in that same number of games, and the lowest passer rating to this point of his career, right? This far in the season. He has been the worst he has ever been, and they are 9-0, which is the best record he has ever had.
Right.
Why is that? Is it because the quarterback is not the most important position in the history of sports? Is it because this is a team game with 11 people and multiple coordinators and strategists and coaches and multiple trainers and dietitians and all of these different things that go into making a successful franchise? It's not because I couldn't name you the Colts GM off the top of my head, because he's not that important. Individually, he is a cog in the wheel. You pick anybody, Andy Reid. You could put Andy Reid on a team with nobody else, with the Bears ownership, and we're going to suck. That's why Andy Reid won't come to a franchise like this. Bruce Arians turned down the coaching job here when we hired Matt Nagy because he didn't want to deal with the Bears ownership. He knew what kind of time they was on. So, this is why the Bears are going to remain in this cycle of poverty. This is why the Bears are going to remain in this era of pain instead of an era of good football, even though we've had talented quarterback after talented quarterback come through here. And until we figure out that it starts at the top, and until these people at the top stop trying to put their brand on things and just let people play football and let people be the elite athletes and coaches and strategists and personal trainers and strength coaches and all of that, until they just get the best people in that they possibly can, stop worrying so much about the rest and hire a leader at the top who's accountable, we'll be the same franchise.
Man, it's so unfortunate. Man, our guys over at the Bigs, sports media, they were asking Eberflus. He asked him, he said, so are you willing to, he said that, with things going how they are you willing to be terminated without even trying different things, or you get what I'm saying, switching it up? And this guy basically went back to blame everybody else. He said, oh, well, it's the team effort. And it's like, dude, you're the leader of this team. When are you going to take some accountability? It was a great question, and I couldn't believe that his answer was so what's the word I'm looking for? He just passed the buck on to someone else. Oh, well, it's 11 guys on the field, and it's like, yeah, we know that. But what about you? When are you going to take accountability for the role that you're playing in? What can you do better? And it was just ridiculous, man. And to me, that told me everything that I needed to hear from Flus. And I can't support him. I can't. And it's obvious the team doesn't support him.
Yeah.
But we deserve something better, man. We've been diligent Bears fans for years. I was just saying, in my entire lifetime, I was born the year the Bears won the Super Bowl. At the end of the year, I've never seen us win again. I saw us make it to one, and that was an incredible time with Lovie Smith, who was a great coach. But we can't even get back there. What is this about? There's teams that have been perennial losers, and I've seen them win.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, man. At what point do you realize that I'm doing something wrong as an owner, as a GM? You get what I'm saying? But I feel like what it is these guys get in here, and when things don't go well, instead of them owning up to the fact that they may not be doing the best job, they try to save their jobs by blaming someone else. And that's terrible, especially in a team sport. It's like, come on, man, I get it. Nobody wants to be the reason that things are going wrong, but you got to be honest with yourself. And a lot of times, if you can do that, if you can accept accountability, as a fan, I can stick by you. I can accept that you're a good player and you're having a bad game or a bad season, or things ain't been clicking for you. I can accept that. If you can accept it, that you need to re-strategize and rethink how you're approaching this, I can take that. I can take that, because that still doesn't mean you're a bad leader. It maybe just means that you had some tough challenges and then you lost, and that happens. But when you can't take accountability, get out of here. We don't need that. We do not need that. We do not need that.
Man, it's I mean, I don't even want to talk about next week. Like,
we play the Packers, man. We play the Packers. These are the games I look forward to every season, and I'm not confident in it. I'm
super unconfident. The Packers are looking for blood. The Packers are trying to get out the wild card and get in the driver's seat of the division. And we're looking to not drown. That's not going to go well. Like, man, I've known each of these last couple of weeks, I've just had a bad feeling about those games. That pales the Patriots game. I was like, God, we should win this game. I was ready to win the Patriots game. We lost 13-3 to a team that is. We have not yet this season. We have not one time beaten a team that has won more than one game before they played us.
That's embarrassing.
If we play another team that's only won one game, then we might beat them. But so far, that's the standard. If you got 2 wins, you're better than us. 2 wins, you're a better team than us at 9 weeks into the season. That's embarrassing. So I have no expectation of success against the Packers. I'm not going to turn that crap on. Why am I sitting here wasting my freaking beautiful Sunday afternoons and watching this, getting in a bad mood so I could come on here and say the same crap I've been saying for the last decade? Come on, man. What's the point?
No touchdowns against the Patriots is very telling, because I'm not gonna lie, I had us at least scoring 21, at least.
Yeah.
But you know what? When your guys don't have any confidence in what the coaches are doing, when you can see it in their effort on the field, and you called it in that Cardinals game when we were discussing the Cardinals game and how we went into the half and gave up that touchdown just before the half when the score was like, I think 15 or 14-9 or something like that. And we gave up a touchdown, made it 21-9 just before the half. And you said that's a complete lack of effort. And since then, that's all I've seen is that the effort is just becoming less and less and less and less. And you can see it. And it's like, how can you win a football game where your players don't want to play for each other? They don't believe in what we're doing here as a team.
Not each other. They don't believe in Flus. They don't want to play for him. They want him gone. That's what they're saying with their players. They're saying it in the meetings. They're saying it all over the place. They're saying it out loud and clear as day, ringing like a bell. They don't want to play for Flus. So why is he still here? Get rid of the problem. Period. If we don't do that, what are we doing? Treading water.
We're trying to piss off the players that we have is what we're doing.
Yeah, we're crabs in a barrel treading water. And here come the freaking Green Bay Packers with a shotgun. So this is who we want to be? We don't even got nothing to fight for right now. If the players want the coach gone, if everybody in the locker room is to the point where there's just no effort, no scores, like who is having success this year? other than Jalen Johnson.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie to you. It begs the question: if now you've gotten rid of the offensive coordinator, how come just 1 week ago you got rid of Khalil Herbert, who you haven't been using? Could we not have said, okay, offensive coordinator who we're getting rid of, you weren't using him properly. You weren't utilizing the pieces that you have. How do you remove him first? How do you trade him first for nothing, for a bag of 25-cent potato chips, and then you come back and then you move the offensive coordinator? That just tells me that these guys in the front office have no direction. They have no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. They're just doing things. Because I would have removed the offensive coordinator first. This guy's getting 4.8 yards a carry. Maybe it's the guy that's using him incorrectly or not at all. So I don't know, man. I'm totally with you. I want to see Flus get out of here. I don't want to wait to the end of the season. I want somebody like Warren or honestly Poles to step up and make the change to show that, hey, I'm not supporting this. Because right now what it looks like is that Poles is in support of this garbage. That's what it looks like to me. I can't help but feel that way. Some things that he's done I like, but when you can't call a spade, when you can't call out the leaders that you have that are not on the field, but for whatever role they have, when somebody's failing to produce as they're supposed to produce, you got to be able to hold them to the fire. And the fact that he's not doing that, but we're seeing guys like Khalil Herbert at 4.8 yards a carry being traded away for a 7th rounder, guys like Justin Fields who's setting NFL records being traded for a 6th rounder, and we bring in somebody who has less success than he's had, then this is on you too. This falls on your shoulders too.
You just lighting the whole tree on fire at that point. So just burn it and start over. That's what you've done.
Yeah. So yeah, man, at this point, man, I'm out on Poles. I'm definitely out on Flus. And yeah, man, I don't know. If Poles wants any support from me, he's gotta be the one to pull that trigger.
Yeah, and soon. Like not like at the end of the year and then do it and then hope that saves you again. No, you've already like completely like doo-dooed the bed, for lack of a better phrase, with the offensive line. You've done a halfway okay job with the defensive line. You've done a terrible job picking coaches, developing quarterbacks. You've done an absolutely atrocious job of managing fan expectations and winning games. So frankly, Ryan Poles, the things that you've done are far outweighed by the things that you have not.
Strongly agree.
End of story. Like you've had so many chances to draft top offensive linemen. You've had so many chances to draft top offensive linemen. Like we could have picked a good center 3 years ago. We could have picked Juice Scruggs. We could have picked who's really good with the Texans. We could have picked Jackson Powers Johnson. He's looking really good. We could have picked Zach Frazier. We could have picked what's his name with the Jets. Whatever the dude with the Jets name is. Like there's so many good centers who've been all over our radars. The fans scouted them because apparently y'all weren't doing it. We've been scouting them ourselves. We've been like, man, I like this guy. He's got power. He doesn't get beat a lot. He's really intelligent at the line of scrimmage with the calls. He keeps the interior clean and he doesn't let the pocket collapse. Okay, what do we got? We got guys falling over backwards because all we wanted to do was trade a 5th-round pick for some cast-offs, for some guys that don't start.
And we picked number 1 and was it 9? Where did we get a Doomsday? 9? 1 and 9 offense, and we can't produce points.
Yeah.
That can't be the guys that you pick's fault. You brought them here. Can't be their fault. You picked them. Yeah. You didn't have to. You picked them.
Exactly. And that was 2 spots that we could have either traded back and got even more talent to infuse across the roster. You know, some cornerbacks or whatever. Because Tyreek Stevenson, I like him. I think he's a feisty corner. I think he's really good in certain spots, but he's been struggling. So I don't know if they just put him in bad positions or if people are picking on him to avoid Jalen Johnson or what. But maybe he needs a guy to spell. Maybe he needs to sub out with somebody, a safety, somebody that can back up Jaquan Brisker because he's stay getting hurt. And I love Jaquan Brisker too, but that's another pick. We double dipped in the 2nd round, your first draft, defensive secondary. And yeah, it was a position of need. It was a position of great need at the time. I agree. But it wasn't a bigger position of need than offensive line, and still isn't. Right. So we might re-sign Kyler Gordon if he could stay healthy. We might maybe we'll re-sign Brisker if he could stay healthy. Right now, it's looking like no, because neither of those dudes are really staying healthy at all. So we're probably just going to end up redrafting those guys and letting them walk. All to do what? To not improve our O-line, to not improve our D-line. It starts in the trenches. Football
the same excuse they've been using
in the trenches. The Lions are one of the best teams in the league because they spent 3 or 4 first-round picks on linemen in the last decade. Why is that so hard to do? I just can't, man. I just can't. It's craziness. It's craziness. Like people that play Madden are better at building rosters than this. Like and not even like in a facetious way. Like I'm for real, for real. Like you can't just ignore entire position groups for half a decade. You can't, a quarter of a decade, whatever it's been. You can't do that.
Man, did you see these guys, the Patriots, that little double flea flicker trickery they did to us out there? I'm like, man, this is insane. These guys are 2-7. They are here styling on us, doing trick plays, tossing the ball around in the backfield and picking up first downs on us.
Yeah, man.
But yet we can't draw up a decent play to use the guys that we have in a way that's productive for an entire game, for weeks at a time.
I'll say this, early on in the season, I kind of like the concepts that Shane Waldron was running. I felt like there were a lot of receivers running free. And what defenses figured out after 3 or 4 weeks is that if they running free past 20 yards, Caleb not throwing that shit. And if you do throw it, Caleb not hitting that shit. So you could play real hard underneath. And suddenly, Caleb is hesitant. Caleb is indecisive. So that really limits the route concepts you can run. Because when they sit on it, nothing's open.
Yeah.
And that's just reality. No matter how good your receivers are, now you need to come up with really, really creative stuff to get first downs, to get 5 yards, to get little completions, little dink and dunks, just to back them up. But you can't back them up. You can't back them up because you can't hit nothing more than 10 yards down the field with Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet.
Man, and I can tell DJ is getting pissed, man. I saw him one play. He takes off. He burns his guy, and Caleb doesn't even throw him the ball.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, I'm there's only so many times I can do this before I'm pissed off with you.
It is what it is.
Throw me the damn ball.
It is what it is, man. Like it's not going to get no better until they deal with the real problem, and the real problem is even above Ryan Poles. So it's really on Kevin Warren because this is the first time we've had a guy in between McCaskey and the football operations who's supposed to be in charge of something. Right? Because, like, man, Ted Phillips wasn't that guy. He's not in charge of shit. All he do is balance the spreadsheet. So, Kevin Warren, show us that you're not just a spreadsheet guy. Show us that you're not just a face to politic around with the city of Chicago to try to build a stadium, man. Do something with this franchise, or you can get the heck on out of here too, man.
Period.
End of story.
Man. Well, I'm nephew.
I'm son.